It is a person who is a Christian who also practices magic. And right away, I know what you're gonna say. You can't do that. That's not in the Bible.
You heard her though. Maybe you just haven't read the Bible enough.
Yeah, clearly someone should have never let black people find out they could be witches. Like, lucid dreaming sounds definitely viable.
Yeah, I feel like astral projection's more of like, I can see like someone having a dream of them astral projecting, but like I question if it's like actually real. What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome back to the Cold Popcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Steve.
And today we're going to be talking about witches and their effect on the modern world and the old.
Yeah, so apparently people actually do believe in things like magic, the occult, witches, sorcerers, magicians, all these different things. I mean, obviously we're not talking about stage magicians today, but I personally do believe in witchcraft. And the definition of witchcraft is actually a sorcerer, magician, or witch attempts to influence the surrounding world through occult means. So, you know, there's a lot of people that actually have a similar belief. They try to like cast spells and create potions and do a bunch of random stuff like that. There's actually this Wiccan church in New York that is the only known Wiccan church in the entire state of New York, I want to say. So, Lizzie, go to that first video. Let's see what's going on at this Wiccan church and what these people are like.
Yeah.
I'm anti-witch though, by the way.
Yeah, you don't like them. I don't know. I don't know if I really. Well, I'm not gonna be like obtuse about it. I don't believe in witches. I don't believe in witches or witchcraft. In fact, I kind of think that back in the day it was just a method to kind of like get rid of women that were seen as irritating. I think they just used that as an excuse. And nowadays I think it's kind of like astrology, where it's just like kind of cool to be a witch. So it's like, ooh, I'm different. Yeah. So yeah. But maybe I'll learn something today. We're gonna learn all about them.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out whether or not witchcraft is real, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
And I'm the High Priestess.
To be a witch is incredibly relevant in today's society.
Is it really?
Cast the circle hand to hand.
We kind of work a magic together.
Nestled in the heart of the Hudson Valley is the Church of the Eternal Circle.
My plans purify you.
The only legally recognized Wiccan church in the state of New York.
Osiris.
We kind of follow the tradition of the craft of the wise. We are witches.
Where for the very first time, members invited CBS2 to attend their services.
My thoughts can heal.
Lisa Stewart and her husband Anton are the founders of the church.
Pause
There
it.
are definitely more of us than
Do you think
estimated
that
as
it's
many
part
as-
of the whole Wiccan thing to have to wear like a cloak?
I mean, I don't know. I would assume yeah, because they're all doing it. But it could just be like purely aesthetics. Like
I was imagining they were playing it up for the CBS people, for the news people.
Yeah.
Like, because they're all wearing cloaks and
yeah, singing hymn and having like a bunch of pentagrams everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, lit candles.
It's actually kind of absurd. So like, I don't think what they're doing is like actual witchcraft. I think they're just like, they just made a religion.
I think
basically.
I would assume that's probably what's happening. Like if I had to really put money on, I think they
It's like
just
they
kind of
got
like
bored.
made something up. Like because this looks like a very small town.
Yeah.
Like this kind of gives me small town vibes. Like it's just a bunch of old white women.
Yeah.
You know, they got tired of knitting and they were like, you know what? All our husbands do is just talk about farming. Like what can we do?
Right.
And it's like let's be witches.
There's like no young blood in that church either. It's just a bunch of old retired people.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, like, is there any? I was gonna be like, you know what? I wonder if we're gonna like encounter any black witches today. But now I'm looking at that. I'm like, are we even gonna see any young witches?
Oh,
or is it
actually, there is a black woman, a black witch slated, but you're not. She's got a twist.
Oh boy,
She's got a twist to
Fascinating.
it.
I love
But let's see a
twists.
little bit more of this video. There's
Okay.
a nice little statue of Baphomet or something.
Baphomet. Like, is he like an actual figure, or they just made him up too?
No, Baphomet's in the Bible.
Okay.
He's like an evil god.
Interesting.
As 1 million people identify as being a witch in the U.S.,
do you feel about
with
that?
20% of that population to be in New York,
That's like way
We
more
have
than I
people
ever
who are
assumed.
professionals of all kinds.
All in New York.
including a librarian, a computer scientist, a nurse, and a homemaker.
Very normal people are part of this
Wait.
religion.
Wait, is he a
In
witch
addition
too?
to
Pause it.
practicing witchcraft, Dr.
Yeah,
Davis
he's like very normal people actually do this. We all have jobs.
We're very normal.
Yeah, we're actually very normal.
You
Yeah,
have a
he's
lot of
witch.
people here that are like mothers and fathers and carpenters and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Well, it turns out being a witch is not exclusive to women. Men can be witches too.
But like,
Wow.
like don't they get called wizards though, or is that just
No,
like,
that's completely different. A wizard is someone that
warlocks.
So actually,
Warlock.
there's no. So there's differences between the different classes of magic. You see.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah,
Steve.
so witchcraft is like using potions and spells, right? A sorcerer, I want to say they like curse objects.
Okay.
And then I want to say that a wizard is someone that has familiar spirits.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen a lot of demon anime and Harry Potter, so I somehow follow what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's different, man.
And I'm like, which ones use shadow tags? Are those
Magi.
the what do you call those? The enchanter?
What is
do you
a
call those?
shadow tag?
That's like what you put on to create a barrier so that spirits can't enter whatever domain you.
Oh, that's
created.
not witches. That would actually be one
That's
of
like
the,
sorcerers.
What's it called?
Magic
The
channelers?
cunning folk.
Oh, the cunning folk.
Yeah, because that's like a protective thing. That's actually anti-witch magic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's
Yeah.
like going against the ghosts. I heard those are like channelers too, because they can speak to spirits and have like little beads. So they can summon them.
Yeah, like what is it called? Lisa, you would remember, right? From like in Jujutsu, how they got Toji. Never mind, it's off topic.
All right.
Anyway, so let's see some more of this video.
Frog, a former Methodist, is a practitioner of internal medicine. Joe Ladotti, a sculptor, converted from Catholicism.
I'll keep an open mind.
Unlike its pop culture
all
portrayal,
they got.
members
They only
say
sound
witchcraft
bite.
is
Yeah.
actually grounded in love and spirituality.
The stereotype, of course, is the broom of...
It's for sweeping your circle and clearing the energy.
Not for flying?
It's not for flying.
This is a somber
interesting.
celebration marking the start of winter.
The broom is for cleaning.
Solomon is known as the night
just in
of
the background
souls,
doing a ring
when
around the
witches
rosy.
honor their ancestors. And magic is simply the belief you can make anything happen.
It's kind of like a prayer.
There's no devil worship, only a love for the goddess of creation and inspiration, along with the antlered god of all things wild and free.
Along with the antlered god.
All right, I think we've seen enough. I'm pretty sure that's the
When
end
I
anyway.
tell
All right.
people that I am a witch,
Oh
So
no.
has that changed your mind on witchcraft? Like, I mean, these guys seem like they really know what they're talking about.
I mean, they seem very confident in the words. I'll give them that. You know, it's funny. It kind of like feels like almost enhanced Buddhism, because it's just kind of like everything is like a symbol of something, but like they're not directly saying like we can do magic. They're just saying this represents a magical, this like a talisman.
Yeah,
that,
like we have the power to do anything.
Yeah, because it's all like about inner, because they kind of like default to like it's all about love and inner belief. I'm like, so is
It's
Buddhism.
like
so
a
it's
secret advertisement that they're trying to put on.
yeah, it kind of just seems like
Just
a
sweep with this broom.
like a really long, complicated way to just like do yoga. I guess. I don't know.
No, none of those people were doing yoga. They were very fat. Lisa, can you go to the Trello real quick? Yeah, no, they were definitely huge. So let me read. So there's actually a classification of people called witch doctors. Scroll down a little bit. So witch doctors are the people whose job it is to cleanse evil spells. They don't really exist in the West, but helpful because in the West, basically, magic that could actually help people was attributed to demons. So a lot of people would probably see that Wiccan church and be like, "Oh, they're just worshiping Satan,
Yeah,
or
it's like
demons or something."
they're evil, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you think they're evil, or do you think they're just like harmless, or like they're just like in your eyes, are they just like they're just like lost people worshiping the wrong deity, or are they actually evil?
Well, I'm gonna lay down a little Christian perspective here. Scroll up a little bit, Lizzie.
Okay.
So in the Bible, witchcraft is mentioned actually many times, and we're not trying to make this like a sermon here, but rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft. Or actually, no, it says, "Do not eat meat that has not been drained of its blood. Do not practice fortune telling or witchcraft." So basically, the Bible is saying like you shouldn't do those things.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess if you don't believe in the Bible, then that's different. But pretty much, I don't think it's harmless to be a witch. Probably.
Oh, okay. You think there's acts of evil being done in those little
Yeah,
churches?
because like if you think about it, like from a spiritual perspective, if you have like, let's say that the devil and demons are real, right?
Okay.
Like, let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah. So let's say that those things are real, right? And if
Uh-huh.
a witch is using spirits that are not of God in order to achieve things in the mortal plane, then that probably wouldn't have a desirable result, right?
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like if I accidentally start like laying out curses, then I am probably not doing something.
Yeah, like
that's
if
very nice.
you're basically like go to the article, the Britannica article for me. So if you are So witchcraft, traditionally the exercise or invocation of alleged supernatural powers to control people or events. Practices typically involving sorcery or magic.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like if you're using your witch powers to control people or events, then you're probably like going outside of God's plan or something.
I see.
Yeah. you're like casting, right? You're like, oh, that sounds pretty sick. Let me try it right now.
Like if I was really hell bent on like, you know what, I'm gonna get into witchcraft, I would try to make it as fun as possible, because I would want to be like, okay, so if I do the X, Y, and Z, like I could cast a curse, and they're like, well, kind of. I'm like, no, I'm asking you, like, can I lay a spell? Like, you gotta like ground me. Am I laying spells? They're like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna do this as I do it, because this is funner. I'm gonna make potions. I'm gonna put up shadow tags or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the witchcraft stuff is like, culturally present. Like people do witchcraft in movies or like magic and stuff like that. But like I feel like in the real world, things that would be more witchy are a lot more grounded. Like it's not like people shooting fireballs and riding around on a broom.
Yeah, no. I would assume like the idea, and this is like a guess, but I assume like the idea of how like a lot of witchcraft and stuff actually is interpreted or works. It's kind of like the idea of like laying out. It's like a spell would be something like kind of like, casting with words or something, or like, I guess twisting someone's fate would be like putting a curse on them. Like, I doom you to like, some type of damnation. And it's like, this person just starts experiencing like a lot of misfortune in their life. It's like, it kind of like it's done like indirectly, but it is something that can be interpreted by the actions of how the world affects a person. I think it's not like I'm literally just gonna shoot lightning at you.
Well, it could even be something like fortune telling. Like if you were to go to a fortune teller and they were to give you some sort of prophetic or fortune reading, then what if they were contacting the spirit realm and organizing the events so that would actually happen to you?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's. Oh no!
Yeah.
I would assume it's like if you're going off like I think like if let's say if you completely put yourself into the idea of the metaphysical being reality, so it's like I can see the interpretation being you're actually contacting spirits outside of like human perception to like adversely affect like people in our realm that we can perceive, and it basically manifests in things that like humans can perceive. So it's like if I said you're cursed to like basically I put a spell on you, so you're gonna be like hit with misfortune, and then all of a sudden
they don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do
they
that.
Don't do
no, I'm doing this.
I'm doing that.
I like doing that.
I put a fucking spell on you. Like that.
Yeah, they put a curse on you. It's gonna manifest as like, oh, I just lost my job for some reason, or like I keep losing track of my stuff. It's like maybe your memory's going. Like I feel like that's how like spells and curses manifest to humans. And like I say, if you're all just following me and just going off the idea like this is how I believe they interpret it. Like this is how I like witchcraft I think works in the world that we inhabit. Like how it's that's the purpose of why they do it. Yeah, you could also just chalk it up to coincidence, maybe, but happenstance.
Yeah, there's definitely the chance that it could just be happenstance or coincidence. But there's actually some Christians who believe in witchcraft. Can you hit that next video, Lisa?
Yeah, let's get what they have to say.
This lady's crazy.
What's she talking about?
What is a Christian witch?
Oh, she's the black one, right?
Yeah.
All the time. So here is the short answer. It's simply a person who aspires to Christ consciousness or to the Christ ideal, who is also a witch or magical. It is very simple. There is nothing complicated about it. Or it is, if you want to take it in the reverse, it is a person who is a Christian who also practices magic. And right away I know what you're gonna say. You can't do that. That's not in the Bible. And I would offer that you study deeper and understand what is truly in the Bible and what is not. And many things we believe in the Bible are not so. Give it an opportunity. Open your mind.
Now, Steve, as a devout Christian man, I got to get your perspective. Can you be a witch and a Christian?
You can't. No, you can't be a Christian witch.
No, they said not to practice it.
It literally said, go back to the Trello, Lizzie.
Steve,
let's see some.
You heard her, though. Maybe you just haven't read the Bible enough.
Yeah, clearly someone should have never let black people find out they could be witches. Like, now black women have too much power.
He's like, you can't be a witch and a Christian.
I'm not going to read this whole thing, but someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the... Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one I read earlier. Do not practice fortune telling or witchcraft. Right?
That's like directly.
Just don't do that.
Yeah.
it's pretty directly saying don't do that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. So like that woman is basically rejecting the Bible, and it's like, you know, if you're not a Christian, then it's like, okay, well, you can feel whatever way you want. But she says she's a Christian. Mm-hmm. She says that she's a Christian, and she's like, yeah, but I'm doing magic. You know, like I love doing magic. And that's just, I don't know, that's kind of awkward. It's like LOL. What the?
I'm curious what she's wearing. Like, what? Can you, like, is there any way to explain the getup? I guess like the 4 dots.
I mean, she's in the same category. Like they call this New Age Christianity. She was talking about Christ consciousness. Have you ever heard that phrase?
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, Christ consciousness is like a New Age thing, and it's like, yeah, like, you know, through the not through like the power of Christ, but it's like we're all like empowered by Christ, and you like manifest. It's like manifestation, stuff like that. All those different like woo woo like crazy things.
Woo woo words, ooh woo.
Yeah, nice woo woo stuff. Okay. But yeah, the makeup or whatever is probably just part of some ritual she does, or maybe she's just showing off for the camera.
Probably.
She probably just wants to look like a witch, actually.
You know what's funny? I'm looking at her nose. Her nose kind of looks like a stealth fighter jet. Yeah.
Wow. Like a B-2 bomber.
Yeah, literally. Yo, literally. I couldn't help notice how perfectly her nose looks like. It's about to like, it's about to like sneak onto like a military base.
Okay, let's see the next video.
Yeah.
We got here
Christian witches.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's talking about he's talking about his experience with witches.
Ooh, interesting.
I heard
warlocks are gonna hate the fact that I'm saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. One night there was a woman at our revival meeting, and she was telling us about the fact that before she got saved, she was an ex-witch, and that she would astral project, which is her spirit would leave her body, and she would go into the spirit realm and she would torment people. She would go after Christians who had no revelation of their authority. And one thing she said that shook me, that they would target Christians who had no prayer life or no revelation of their authority. What deeply saddens me is that a lot of witches have more faith in their false practices than Christians do in their prayer life. Witches will boast about this. They'll say, I manifest this, I manifest that. And as Christians, we need to realize that a lot of us are facing the same warfare over and over again because we have an infant revelation of our authority. There are so many witches who will go out there and say, I love manifesting this and manifesting that. And what they're doing is a perverted version of what was originally heaven's technology. And that is the fact that God has given believers to decree and to command. And my question is, do we have more faith? Witches and warlocks should be very One night,
that's crazy, bro.
Father, I think
he's telling us.
I'm just imagining the guys in the back row, just like his eyes are completely bloodshot. He's just high as hell.
Whoa. The technology of heaven. Wow.
Oh, you're tripping me out, man.
But man, isn't that crazy? He was saying that this witch would go into her sleep and astral project and attack believers.
I saw a TV show like that, actually.
Did you?
And some of y'all probably have seen that too.
What's it called?
It's pretty cool. It was on Netflix or something like that.
Wait,
it's kind of dope.
Are you talking about like American Horror Story?
No, it was like it's like a Netflix series where there's like these people living like a kind of a basic life, but then they would do that in their sleep.
They astral project. They astral project and assault Christians.
Ooh, I'm curious because I know with astral projection, you like project your soul to leave your body, and you can experience things in real time, but outside your body. Can you possess someone while astral projecting, or is like that too far?
No, you don't possess people. You're not.
Oh, that's not cool. Okay.
A demon.
All right. Demon. Oh, like that would be like next level if I could like put my soul in someone else and then go visit my body.
No, I don't think it's not like a movie. It's not a cartoon. Astral projection is definitely like I don't know. I feel like Hiram was talking about astral projection at a point. I think he was saying like he was doing that, and so was Trinity. I think.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people who get high say that too.
Roosevelt, you over there astral projecting right now?
I mean, I ain't never astral projected, but you know, similar situation.
Yeah, it's called Behind Her Eyes on Netflix.
Okay.
I heard lucid. Well, I know lucid dreaming is like something I like is plausible because you know I've like been in dreams and I realized I was asleep and then you kind of get like free range to play in your dream.
Yeah,
but,
lucid dreaming sounds definitely viable. But
yeah, I feel like astral projection's more of like I can see like someone having a dream of them astral projecting, but like I question if it's like actually real.
I don't personally.
Oh, you think you can?
I don't see why not. I mean, if your spirit is
a tangible thing,
not physical, then why wouldn't it be able to leave your body? I guess.
I guess so. Wouldn't you technically be dead without a spirit?
Yeah.
Do you think you die?
That's why it's witchcraft. That's why you shouldn't do it.
Oh, it's okay. It's dark magic. Basically, I got it.
That's probably why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm curious of something though.
Yeah.
Because I heard that, like, you know how they used to make slaves read the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, the Bible talked about, you know, not doing witchcraft, but what they was really talking about was like not practicing African spirituality.
Voodoo.
You like voodoo, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's cultural to those people, you know what I'm saying? They taught them to not do that, and that's what they meant by witchcraft.
Okay.
Like,
I think I get what you're
I get what you're saying. I don't know. I think the Bible was written a lot longer before like any of that mattered.
But how do you know like the interpretations aren't like in place to basically deter other religions versus like actually being evil? Like what if it's like it's giving the monikers like this is evil to do that because it's not but it's like to deter the other beliefs in order to like further instill I guess the more Christian grounded idea of spirituality.
So my thought process basically sees it like, well, you can kind of see why those things you shouldn't do if you believe in a God.
Okay.
Like, why would you need a fortune teller if you could just pray to God, I guess. But I guess that kind of proves your point, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, I mean, like, African spirituality really be just like, paying
hit the
respects
ancestors
to
up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's...
You can get them on the phone.
What's wrong with that?
Well, so imagine, right, your ancestors die, and they are not in a good place. And then you open a door up to that place that they're in, and then everything else comes with them when you talk to them.
I mean,
have you considered that?
I mean, no, I get what you're saying, but it's like my thing is, if somebody was doing something before you came in and told them it was wrong, you know what I'm saying? How you going? Who are you to just try to and then you force your perspective on these people?
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying that it was necessarily right to evangelize to slaves, but clearly the slaves realized that worshiping Jesus was like a better alternative, I think.
I don't think they realized it. I think they
finally came to their senses after a couple of whips.
After a couple beatings. And,
nah, man, Jesus saved the slaves, bro. That African shit wasn't gonna get them out of slavery. I'm just being honest.
I mean, my thing is that African shit was happening before. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and then what happened? And then what happened? When, like, if that's what was happening, then what happened to them?
I'm just saying,
they got enslaved, bro.
They got enslaved. You know what I'm saying? The Bible played a part in that, bro.
Their ancestors did not protect them, bro.
Okay. This man said, look out for your voodoo gotcha.
Nah,
but
keep going,
that
man.
don't make it right, though. Like, look how, like, you know, I don't know, bro.
That's actually well. I was gonna comment earlier that when you said like what if you're accessing like a realm and there's like they're not in a good place and those demons come into the real world. I'm like that was literally the plot of Insidious. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
No, I never saw it.
Okay, it's like you go into the further it's like where all the demons live, and like the son kept accessing the further in his dream. And then that's why they were being haunted, because it's like when he goes to sleep, he goes to this realm, of demons and stuff. That's why he's always talking about, I'm seeing demons. And it's like, oh, because you're going there and you're bringing them back with you. And now we got to beat you up.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's like a pretty common Christian belief, like especially amongst like deliverance ministries where like people actually believe in demons. If you believe in the actual supernatural, like there's a lot of different classifications of Christians. Like some Christians don't believe in anything supernatural. So if you tell them like, oh yeah, that's witchcraft, they'll be like, well, I don't believe in anything supernatural. Like they just specifically believe like, okay, Jesus resurrected and that's the only supernatural thing to ever happen.
Yeah.
But
that's the only thing.
What if you reach back out to the ancestors and they are in a good place? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then what?
Exactly.
My point is, what do the ancestors have?
Think about it. T'Challa did that, and he got his powers back. So, like, yeah, what do you think about that?
My thought with ancestor worship is just like, what makes a dead ancestor of any value to me?
I mean, it's like just like why you should respect your elders while you alive. Like
you can respect them, like you can respect.
But you, it's like in a way we supposed to, seek wisdom from them as well. Like it's like the same respect. It's just, these people are long gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's the same thing, really. You know what I'm saying? It's the same purpose.
I mean, hey, I got a cousin that actually, she believes in ancestor stuff, but she's also a Christian. Personally, when it comes to ancestor worship, to me, I don't necessarily see any value in it because it doesn't. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Christian. I'm saying it from like a mostly objective viewpoint. Like, what is another human going to do for me, basically? Like, I mean, a dead human.
My thing is, bro, how would you know? How would you know? Like, if I feel like that was what it was, right? Right, and then the whole slavery thing happened and it cut that off. Like I can't explain it in grave detail, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you feel me, you feel me. Like,
I mean, it cut it off for Americans, but there's plenty of Africans doing juju right now and things aren't looking so great.
Bro, never mind.
What?
I don't know, bro, because like I just feel like, okay, once again, the whole concept of Christianity was pushed on a group of people, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like that's a very important, aspect of Christianity to pay attention to.
But was it an evolution of belief though? Like, did they go from something not worthless, but something that wasn't very worthwhile to something better through force? Because God works in mysterious ways to me. Like, like I said, right? If you got juju going on in Africa and then you look at the state of Africa, it's like, okay, well, is God raising them up? If you look at a Christian country in Africa versus a non-Christian country in Africa, which one's doing better? Typically the Christian one, is all I'm saying. They got Muslim countries, they got non-specific countries, they got tribes. I don't want to be the tribe that's walking around and fucking,
I mean, if you conquered
killing monkeys.
But if you conquered, like,
in history, like, my God.
What?
No, Lizzy's face. Lizzy was just like seems so like just like wow, Steve. This is face.
I just feel like if you're a conqueror, right? If you like pushing a religion and you forcefully putting it on everybody, it's like, of course, as history, evolved, that, what I'm saying, that religion is going to be on top. They're going to be doing better. Like, of course, it's like these Christian areas doing good. It's like because they took over, essentially, way back when. They gained control a long time ago. Like,
I get Roosevelt's perspective because he's basically saying, like, because it seems like you're coming from the perspective of, like, well, if you judge the success of people of Christian countries versus non-Christian countries, you'll see the pattern that, like, oh, they're doing better.
It's the most dominant religion.
Yeah, but do you
numbers?
Should you apply that, simply because those countries have like a lot of monetary and economic success? Because it's like, well, my thing is like, would you apply that to every other metric? So it's like outside of religion, it's like, should we also like, take their, like, let's say their home traditions? Like, it's like, oh, they're a more successful economic country, so like their in-house traditions must be superior to what they do in like other countries. Like, we should start using forks, and China should stop using chopsticks because look at their country and look at a European country that uses forks. Clearly it has to be better because they have more money, so like they should do that. Or maybe we should all switch to eating burgers instead of rice and different types of carb products because America's richer than India, so like clearly our food must be better too. My thing is like, if you apply that logic, you got to apply it to other factors too. And I don't necessarily think that just because like a country's has overall success means that every part you break down means it's superior as well. I can see a very like successful country having pretty like non-moralistic values in the religion. That can definitely be possible because I don't think
look at China.
Has to overall like mean that everything they do is good, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm not. I don't believe every Christian country does. Well, it's like no countries really even. Well, I guess there's still some Christian countries, but they've removed Christianity from a lot of the Western countries anyway. But I see what Roosevelt's saying to an extent. I mean,
I was just kind of fleshing it out because I'm like, I kind of see how that argument can like seem really like, well, I guess if they are doing better, they must be doing something right. And not to say they're not, but I don't think that's like a causal thing. I think that's less like a correlation. It's like, yeah, they're doing good economically overall, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that like their religion's the right religion, or that like they enforced it with like good morals in mind. Like it could have easily been a control tactic, but like, it gets lost in translation when everything else looks good.
But the question is, like, does it matter? Right? Does it matter whether or not it was used as a control tactic or not, as long as it's spread?
Well, I mean, I guess that goes down to, I think, the individual then. It's like, does it give you value? Does it have value inherently? I guess is what you have to look at.
So it would have value inherently if you look at the metrics of the macroeconomic state of the countries and whatnot that it's been applied to. Not just economic, but also like in terms of wealth building and influence, power.
Do you think they could have gotten that influence, wealth, and power without having Christianity?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I do feel like
that they could.
Like, because I remember one time you told me, like, you was telling me about like an African tribe where they like basically burn the females' clits off. Yeah. Like, and it's like, I don't know. It's like when you put it like that, I can see how you would say that Christianity took a group of people that was doing a certain thing that, may not have been good for them. And through their brutality and like essentially evilness, they evolved the people into something different. Or you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Better,
yeah.
But
is Japan a first world country?
That's what Christ does. Absolutely. Yeah, Japan is a first world country.
Yeah, they became a first world country without Christianity. So I don't think it's like one hinges on the I don't think it like a good culture hinges on Christianity.
I didn't say specifically like there's obviously countries that are not Christian that are successful, but I'm saying there's an entire half of the planet that is Christian and successful.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you look at like the Middle East, for example, they all have the same collective religion, but they're not doing so great.
What about Dubai? I heard Dubai's doing great.
Well, they just have oil money. But I'm saying like it's beyond just economic wealth. It's also about like culture, standards, and moral ethics.
Okay. Well, like I said, I guess I don't really have like a really strong argument for it or against it.
Yeah, we've gotten really far off of witchcraft too.
Low key, we did.
Yeah. I was trying to get Steve to stop making fun of Africa, you racist.
Yeah. I know you're making fun of that guy's eyes.
Yeah.
Come on, you don't like
I didn't say anything about his eyes. His eyes look all right. His eyes are normal.
Okay, back into witchcraft. Go to the next video, Lizzie.
Now, what do we have?
Now, that guy's eyes. Now, that.
Yeah. All right. Now, this guy's going to explain why witchcraft.
I can't even put my finger. Like, he looks like I'm thinking like Sid from Ice Age, but then he also kind of like a weird newt, like a something with his face.
Wow, that's a strong man of God that you're insulting right here.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Reform people who believe in the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and for them it's easier to swallow the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. The culture is so demonized. I could see where resistance and hesitancy toward the supernatural, where that could find its place in the United States. But today I'm thinking like, how could you reject what is happening in our culture? I mean, Disney is propagating demonization. Every art, music is literally repackaging witchcraft so that it's easier to swallow for our generation. Almost every other person that comes to church has practiced witchcraft or is currently practicing some sort of witchcraft, and to just put a cross on that and to pretend that just because we gotten saved, all the demons, all the curses have disappeared. I just think that it's such an ignorance. Even if those people have more degrees than a thermometer, it still doesn't change the fact that the reality of Jesus's ministry and the reality right in front of us, people are suffering and people are hurting. There are some reformed people who...
Yeah, so like, what do you think about Disney promoting demonization?
I don't know. I think Disney just wants to make money, and
I think everyone just wants to make money, and that's kind of like where the witchcraft comes in. Like they said, like that one Bible verse said, like rebellion is as bad as witchcraft, and in some translations it says like rebellion is witchcraft. So it's like if you think about the culture we have today, so that's like what I mean earlier when I was saying like witchcraft isn't like as fancy or like it's not as spectacular or fantastical as a lot of people would think. It's like if you consider like rebellion is a form of witchcraft, right? Then you can look at it like, okay, so when Lil Durk makes a song about murdering his ops, that's rebellion, and therefore he's committing an act of witchcraft, and that's why it works so well, because he's basically like casting a spell on all of his audience to make them also think that murdering the ops is cool. Yeah, so that's like witchcraft.
Okay. Do you think that's witchcraft, or are you just like explaining like the standpoint of how
Oh no, actually, I actually do believe that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think arts
I
are
feel
definitely leveraged by witches.
I don't know. I feel like that's like, and this is why I have to disagree with it, because I think that it's almost, I feel that can be used as a tool to just immediately discredit or to push aside any like message that's being pushed that you don't agree with, because rather than analyzing whatever the tactic being employed is and deciding whether or not it's good or helpful to people, or why you may disagree with it, you can immediately discredit someone's argument by just saying like it's witchcraft instead of like.
Okay, so what's Lil Durk's argument?
So Lil Durk's, my thing is like you're saying Lil Durk is doing witchcraft because a lot of people like what he's saying, but what he's saying may be degenerate. But
do they like what he's saying, or do they just listen to what he's saying?
I guess it depends.
Do they reenact it?
Well, here's the thing. One, that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to reenact it.
But they do.
Some people do, but like people, there's like some people that go to church that still end up going to prison. So it's like, is the church good? It doesn't mean the church is just all bad now.
But you know what though? Jimi Hendrix did say you could put messages in the music.
Yeah.
Well,
Jimi
obvious. I feel like
that.
that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obvious.
So I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
About the spell, right? Is that? Ain't that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No, I wasn't calling you. I'm just saying. Like, I was mostly talking to Zoe when I said that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that like the fact that you would immediately like sum everything else up though to witchcraft or evil.
Well, I didn't sum everything up. I didn't sum everything up to witchcraft.
Yeah, but you're saying like, oh, his music is witchcraft because like in this instance he's like spreading like a message that like it could be seen as bad.
Right.
But I'm like, you can literally apply that to a lot of things. And if you write it off, it's witchcraft. I think that's an easy way to discredit someone in totality.
Why wouldn't you discredit that behavior?
Well, my thing is this. That's like, okay, Steve, so.
Are you saying, so you're saying
no,
that,
no,
you're
what
saying
I'm
that
saying,
the promotion of drugs and murder isn't evil?
No, but is pedophilia in the church then mean that the entirety of Christianity is now like completely useless? It has no merit?
That doesn't even connect.
It does, because you're basically taking like an instance of like, well, this has happened in the church. Therefore, the church promotes this entirely in totality, which means.
How? How does that relate to what I said about Lil Durk?
Because what I'm saying is like you're really saying like, oh, there's some messages in his music that could be like emulated by people and lead to people doing bad things. But I'm like, okay, but listen, I don't know all of Lil Durk's songs. I'm sure like not every song and every word that comes out of his mouth is kill, murder, steal.
Right, but if you have the definition of witchcraft as partially being rebellion is witchcraft, the point I was making is that if he is advocating for and promoting rebellion, then he is engaging in witchcraft.
But see, my issue.
Hold on, I ain't even jump in like that. No, because you said it's like I feel like the first thing that came to my mind when you said rebellion was like
a revolution, like a coup or something.
Not a revolution, but I'm just thinking of slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because it was always more slaves than it was like the authority walking around. Like there was like very likely going to be an opportunity where it was 5 slaves and 1 slave master. They very easily could have just, you feel me, got down on him because it was more than them than him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in the Bible it said not to rebel, so they wouldn't.
Well, it says don't rebel against God.
I mean,
well, if the white man's belief is framed as God, then you're basically saying don't rebel against me.
Right.
I don't know about that one. The white man didn't.
No.
The white man wasn't God in the Bible.
No, but like basically his like beliefs. No, I'm saying like if I'm saying that if you're basically framing yourself as the representation as God, it's kind of like if I am delivering you all your messages about what God is, and then like basically saying that like, what my words, the things attached to me basically represent the word of God, then in a way you're kind of like dispelling onto the people around you that like to go against me would be akin to going against God. And I think that's the framework Roosevelt's saying. With slaves, you're basically saying don't rebel against God. You're basically saying don't rebel against me because I represent his word.
Yeah, I can see that.
Interesting.
I think what I was going to say earlier too is because you're basically saying if you advocate for bad things, then yeah, you're a bad person. But my thing with music, and I think what gets really conflated is that
I
don't think
technically say if you do bad if you advocate bad things, you're a bad person. I said if you advocate those specific things, then you're engaging in witchcraft.
Okay,
that's what I said.
No, I get that, and what I'm saying is that like I think the word advocating is like something that gets thrown around a lot, and it can be easily like made a word that can like really, really galvanize people. Because my thing is, I feel like music is like any type of art. If I make a game and the game is about like slaying, you know, it's like a basic shooter game. It's about slaying monsters or like, you know, killing people and whatnot. It's easy to disconnect. Like people, I rarely have anyone like demonize a game developer like Grand Theft Auto. Like I rarely see people demonize it because I think people have a ability to kind of differentiate what's just mindless entertainment from like an actual advocacy. I don't think anyone in Rockstar is basically telling all their people who's playing Grand Theft Auto like you need to go out and shoot cops, you need to go out and rob banks. I think they're just like making a game that people can escape to and just like do mindless entertainment. And I think the same applies for like art. Like I don't think you know, like old Renaissance painter who maybe made photos of like the whole melting clock with the person. He's like, you know, basically advocating for like a world on fire. I think that's just like symbolism or just like, you know, expression. I don't think he's advocating. So I think the same could be with music where it's like you may do something because it's provocative and captivating, but not necessarily because you're advocating for it. It may give value to people in some aspect outside of directly like just interpreting it as like verbatim, like I need to kill somebody.
I think it's different in music because one, music enters you spiritually, and also two,
and through your ears.
Yeah, well, it enters through your ears and it enters you spiritually as well. And also, a lot of the people like the Lil Durks and the King Vons, they actually do these things. It's not the same as a video game where, oh, well, I made a video game based on what I thought would be cool, and now I'm expecting you to do it. No, King Von is literally like rapping about murdering people and doing it.
No, I understand. Like I'm saying that,
and then people idolize him and want to do it themselves. The same way anyone else has a role model. Like you see your favorite actor, oh, I want to be an actor. You see Obama's president, oh, I want to be president. You see an astronaut, oh, I want to be an astronaut. It's a role model.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like I'm not saying that like they themselves can't be like bad people or have like bad habits and stuff. But what I'm saying is like the art itself. Because it seems like to me you're kind of saying like, you know, the art they engage in itself is like a form of witchcraft. And I don't think that necessarily has to be true. I think they can be bad people, but like they're like the art that they engage in isn't necessarily like a form of witchcraft.
Well, but you don't believe in witchcraft.
I don't believe in witchcraft.
Right. So how can you even argue it?
Because if I don't believe in it, then I'm arguing
saying,
that
so
witchcraft.
what is a form of witchcraft then?
There is no witchcraft.
Exactly. So what the fuck?
Wait, what the fuck? Like that could be a fair argument.
That's why this seems disjointed.
That's like me saying, like, Steve, there's an invisible elephant in the room right now, and you're like, well, I don't believe in invisible elephants, and I'm like, all right, yeah, shut up, so you can't be in this conversation. It's like, no, I'm arguing that there isn't a fucking elephant.
That's
in the
not
room.
what you're arguing. You were saying that it's not a form of witchcraft, as if you were implying that there are some forms of witchcraft. You're basically like arguing as if the definition of witchcraft I used was valid, but your argument is actually like a psyop. You're trying to convince me that witchcraft isn't real.
Oh, Steve's too deep now. He's not gonna believe me. No. I mean, I guess my thing is like I feel like witchcraft is more so of a tool, and I think in some context is a tool used to like, you know, objectively like either demonize or write off a point of view, rather than explore like what it could mean. Because it's like, well, if I don't agree with it and I don't like it, and I don't want other people to like it either, I'll just basically make the world think that you're just evil, you know. And if that's the case, then nothing you ever say will have merit or be believable. And I think that seems to be like what a lot of what I interpret as happening, where it's like, if I don't understand something or I don't like something, I'll just say, oh, well, it's witches. I mean, that's what they did in the Salem. Like, why am I infertile? I can't have kids. Oh, it's probably this fucking witch over here. She did this to me, you know?
Yeah, but I think that's a lot different than like modern definitions and like actual biblical references. Like, I feel like that was more like a political thing when they were actually just killing people and calling them witches. It's not like, I think that was more like a lot of uninformed Christians and semi-believers just sort of acting out on like their base instinct, like, oh, well, my dick won't get hard, so I'm gonna kill this witch, I'm gonna kill this lady over here. And then like one of the most popular selling books next to the Bible in like the 1400s or something was a book about how to hunt and prosecute witches, like how to conduct a witch trial. That was the next best-selling book next to the Bible, because people actually believed in sort of like the like you were doing, like the like shooting spells. They thought witchcraft was more glamorous because it's like, I don't know, I guess it was like a marketing thing. I have no idea. It's probably like a marketing thing for the Catholic Church. But generally, I would say you're accurate in saying that witchcraft is a tool. Like I would say that I think witchcraft is a tool, but I think it's a tool not in the sense that you think it's a tool. I think it's a tool in the sense that people can actually use witchcraft to accomplish certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like I view it as a tool, as like a propaganda tool. You view it as a tool, like as a tool against like what is good and what is Christian, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
What is moral?
All right. Well, as long as we both don't like it, I guess I can't be mad. At that.
Okay. What other video do we have? Do we have one more?
The Wicca.
Oh yeah. So it's also a good tool for making money. Getting some fucking paper.
Hey.
Let's see this lady.
Hello, my name is Sandra Cheryl Richardson. I'm a Wiccan high priestess here at Celestial Treasures, a beautiful store in Coconut Grove, Florida. In this clip, we're going to talk about how to tell if a person is a witch. Witches are people just like everyone else.
Or
Some
not
are
your
good
witch.
and some are lousy. Since Wicca is the fastest growing religion in today's world, a lot of people will be very open about themselves being a witch. So you won't have to wonder.
Pause it real quick.
In the meantime, there are certain clues that can...
Is that true? Is it?
No.
Okay, I was like, what? I've never heard that in my life.
Obviously not. One of the fastest growing. This video is 14 years old. Maybe things changed.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the fastest growing religions. Come on now. Everyone's just signing up to be a witch right now.
I'm like, bro, I feel like I would have ran into more witches.
You guys ready to go to Black Mass?
Yeah. All right, let's keep watching.
Give it away. Witches will always greet themselves with words like blessed be or merry meet. In addition to that, you will find the tone of conversation to be very open about life, about not judging others, about helping animals, about healing, interest in crystals and their properties. And if any of these comments of qualities can fit within your life, you may have some witch within you too. So when you meet people and you wonder, could they be a witch? Could they not be a witch? Use some of these clues to tell. And thank you for watching with Sandra Cheryl Richardson on how to tell if someone is a witch.
Oh, I guess we all got a little bit of witch inside of us, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of witch inside of us. I want to be inside a witch.
Hey. Oh. Get that demon pussy.
Yeah, man. Anyone else? Suppose you got any other takes on the slaves and how they were witches?
Yeah, true. I want to see you argue about that.
I mean, I already said how I felt about it. Like, you know, I feel like
Steve just said our answers have no value.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you think about it, like, think about what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know what I'm saying? That was a part of the culture at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was a part of that at one point.
I wasn't personally.
Maybe, you know, because you also could have been attached to the, you know, original, you know, people of this land. You know what I'm saying? And they got, you feel me? They got, Christianity did a number on them too. Like, or
was it Christianity that did the number?
The people who brought Christianity did the number.
Not really.
I mean, they kind of did.
Were they actual Christians, bro? That's the thing. Or were they just Christian? Were they just Christian in name?
No, I get what you're saying. Like,
were they just like the people that go to church and then get fucked, like Zoe always says, like the girls that just go to church on Sunday and then get ran through the rest of the week?
Ran through on Saturday, church on Sunday.
Yeah, it's like, you know. You know, who am I to call someone a false Christian? But like, if you're, I don't know, buying and selling slaves that you're going to abuse outside of biblical terms, then I don't know if you're actually really a Christian, are you?
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, them was the bad Christians, basically. Yeah. What you're saying, like, I get that.
Yeah, they weren't like upholding the law of the Bible. They were just out for themselves. They were worshiping money. They were worshiping profit, and they were probably Catholic.
Dang. Steve going at the Catholics.
Yeah. I want to say like I don't know. I would assume Protestants didn't have as many slaves, but that's a guess. I'll look it up after this, I guess. I don't know. I got no idea. But anyway, should we close this out?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, so thanks for watching this long ass episode about witchcraft and other things, other topics. You can follow us on all social media platforms at The Code Podcast. We're also on we're on audio and video platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, as well as Rumble at The Code Podcast. Also, check us out on Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to all of our exclusive content, including the My Black Friends podcast, 80 episodes of hilarity. There's also 30 episodes available here on YouTube. You can watch them. Just go back on our timeline and you can find it. Thanks for popping in, and we got to pop out of here.
All right. Peace.
Bye.